Hello everyone, it is Adam the Ant, and I'm here to do a Magic Legends video. This video is a top 5 Magic Legends tips for new players. There's going to be a lot of information, so even though it's 5 items, we're going to discuss them in depth. The number 1 item is zones, dailies, and zone bosses. So when you start the game, the number 1 thing you're going to be doing is going into your map, of course. You'll have access to zones as they unlock. Currently I have all the zones unlocked. So what you'll be doing is you'll be basically doing all the quest missions, the module or the single player PvE missions. Of course you can do this with people, and you can always upgrade the difficulty. You're going to be constantly doing these. Some are more fun than others, some are more interesting than others, so you'll find the ones that you really like. Maybe we can do a review of those later, but in the meantime, you're basically just going to go through all the story missions. Once the story missions are complete, then you will be able to go to the guide and do your dailies. It'll tell you what you need to do to accomplish them, and you just go through and run through these events. Sometimes they're a little bit more vague, sometimes they're very clear what you need to run, and yeah, you just run these. And that should be a daily event giving you rewards and various items for that. You can also, of course, bring a group or just solo them, whatever you want to do. If you're doing the actual encounters here, you'll see the ability over to the left to select them, and then to the right, you can select your modifiers, your difficulty rating, if you're going to bring friends or not, and if you have any world enchantments to add. You can make the run even more difficult, but get more bonuses. The world enchantments are used to create, depending on what you have in your world enchantment inventory, you can get various bonuses, and you can also purchase these in the Consignment broker, which we'll talk about later. So that is how to do the dailies and get through your regular missions. One important thing to note is when you go to the actual areas, and for now I'm just going to run to Benalia and see what we can find. So we're going to go to the map, we're going to go back to Benalia, and we're just going to enter. We're going to go here, why not? You can fast travel to any of the unlocked fast travel points. Once you get there, you'll have the entire map that you can zoom out and review. One of the other things to do is when you're doing these daily missions, make sure you get all the waypoints, all the fast travel points. It's going to be essential into moving around the maps. And there's a couple hidden things on these maps to show you. If you hit the map button over here, you get to see this. So this is the encounter, the mythic encounter. It'll show up not where the center of the map is, but it'll show up anywhere within this circle. So it could very well be over here, which would be awkward because you'd have to do a lot of running to check it out. But it could be right here. It could also be over here. So when you are searching for these mythic encounters, you will typically get an announcement of when the mythic encounter is open and when it's going to be retreating. So make sure you get there quickly. It doesn't last forever. Take the mythic encounter out, and once you do that, we'll go back to the map. Once you do that, there'll typically be an explanation over here saying when the planar objective is complete. After you defeat so many of those mythic encounters on a particular map, then it'll unlock a secret location where you fight the boss of the map. Now this is always, so there it is, the mythic encounter is retreated. No one defeated it, so there's no planar instability progress. But once you see that progress and you get the unlock, what then happens is on the map, and every map is different, there is a location. In this case, the location is over here. See these people just kind of hanging out in dead space? Well, this is actually the location of where the boss fight is on the Benalia map. So if you're going to get there, you're going to have to head to the Caligo Morass, and I will show you what it looks like when you're there in person. So I'm going to run southeast from here. This is just to give you the location. Every map has a different location, but it's always going to be in the same place on each map. So get to know where your like zone boss is. And you can see here, there's a little entryway. Look at that. Not even on the big map. How interesting, right? You say hello to your friends. And right over here, there's a secret portal that opens. And let's show you again on the map where I'm at. So see, there's this hidden little secret area that we went into, even though it's not on the main map. And this is where the boss will appear in that zone. You go through the portal and you get there. So that's how you find your boss. And then again, you have to wait for the mythic encounter. You go take that mythic encounter on. Looks like we're being attacked. Oh, we're just not moving. This guy picked the wrong day to fight me. I'm doing a tutorial, Cabal Cleric. You were getting in my way. Okay, so that is it for zone bosses and tip number 1. All right, off to tip number 2. This revolves around the meditation realm. So we're going to zone back out to my realm. Now, you'll get all of these unlocked. These are all areas of, when you're starting out, you won't have these unlocked, but eventually you'll unlock them all. We're going to go back to the meditation realm, which is your realm. Once you get here and you get this unlocked in game, your objective now is to read through all of the options and level these up as quickly as you can. And the reason for leveling these up, there's a number of items here to be aware of. So when you zone in, you'll go into that little teleporter, and then you'll come around. You've got your etheric core. This is the hub and the essential part of everything you do. From there, you've got the arcane workshop, the mana vault, and mystical study, and eventually you'll unlock the prophetic quill. Now, the reason that the etheric core is important is for your mana. What you're going to do is you're going to be able to upgrade this, and you'll be able to build plains, islands, swamps, mountains, and forests. Why do you need all of them if you're going to be just a blue mage? Well, you'll eventually need them all, but you have to get them all in order to upgrade. So you'll notice a lot of times you're trying to upgrade, you have to kind of upgrade everything systematically. So currently I'm at level 6 on all of them, with forests being only at level 5. So I'm going to build the forest up soon. I currently do not have enough resources to do that, but once I get 4,000 of the green planar mana, I'll be able to do that. Now, the important part of the reason this is important is this is a big deal for your spell pages, and this is how you upgrade your spells. You level up your spells by spending spell pages on each spell, and they rank up. You can't do that without, one, a ton of spell pages. You get those through adventuring. And then the most important part is the rank up value is reduced for every land you have in your owned lands. So this is why it's so important. Now, I made the mistake of spending way too much resources and spell pages when I could have just leveled up my lands and had a better discount. So the discount is something that you want to focus on first, and then you'll be able to level up your spells to the highest level you can without breaking. You need a lot of resources. So this is part of the essential build. Now you'll notice that they all tie in together. In order to upgrade this structure, you need to get all of your other structures upgraded so it's all kind of chained together. So you're just going to have to rotate through all the items, see what's available, and level them up. Now there's a couple of passive things that these do. So your research fragments is usually just a timer. For me, I just set this off, and it's got 2 days and 16 hours left to give me 20 common relic fragments. You'll notice that kind of thing in all of them. They have the so just make sure you always have your items, your structures busy with whatever needs to happen. So harvesting planar mana, I've got 1 day and 18 hours left, and et cetera, et cetera. You just go through these and know that they are all important. So leveling them up is good. And you can also get there's some other tips and stuff we'll talk about here in a minute. But that's it. Tip number 2, upgrade your realm, and you especially build your lands as quickly as you can to get your spells upgraded. That'll give you your character overall huge boost in performance. When you're leveling up your spells, it's quite a big deal on the power scale. All right, tip number 3, build only one character in this game. Wow, that should be the number 1 tip. It's so easy to start the game and say, I want to try a different character because I want to explore what it's like to be a green mage, or the starting classes, and you want to start different starting classes. Here is why that is a huge mistake in this game. In this game, we already saw it, you can build, where do we go? Actually, I guess we'll go to loadout. So in this game, you can actually play different characters. You just have to click this. Select your loadout. How do I do it? Well, you think I would know how to do it. This guide is terrible. All right, hang on. Where's our little, the workshop that gives us extra characters? No. Not the Mana Vault, I know that. The study, okay. So additional starter class. This is where you want to go, because when you unlock a different starter class from here, you have access to switch to it and have all of your spells, all of your lands, all of your owned artifacts and equipment and gear, everything that you need that you've been grinding for, that you think to yourself, oh, well, this character doesn't need this. It just goes away in storage. But when you unlock an additional starter class, then you can start leveraging those additional abilities, artifacts, equipment, and spells. And so you'll find yourself going, okay, well, why did I start another character? Because if you start another character at the beginning of the screen and have a Sanctifier on one and then a Necromancer on the other, what you're doing is you're splitting your resources. Now you don't share those inventories. So you might think, well, that's lame. I spent all this time in multiple characters, and now you're telling me that I should have done this from the beginning? Yes. I hope you watch this video before you get a lot of time spreading out to different characters. I know this is probably going to make some people bummed out because they've already done it. So don't, you can't go back. You can't take that time back. So try not to regret it. What you need to do is focus on the character that you have the most experience with, maybe the most mythic drops. Maybe you have a spell that's your favorite or an artifact that's your favorite. Just go ahead and get on that account and forget about the others, because you're going to want to do everything on a single instance, or whatever you want to call it, a single character name. And this is really a unfortunate bit that I don't know if they're going to resolve it or they're just going to explain it better to people, because I had to discover this and went, oh, wow. So, tip number 3, only play one particular Planeswalker, and you will eventually be able to unlock and play everything. Now, again, it is expensive. It takes a while to get these resources to get extra characters. So there's nothing wrong with starting from scratch. Just know that your inventory won't be shared, and that seems to be a missed opportunity in my opinion. Tip number 4. And maybe I can figure out how to change characters. I think it's escape. Hold on. So wrong. The loadout? Character? How do I switch? Use loadout to equip. I don't think that changes my character though. Maybe class. That's how you do it. Okay, you go to the class tab, and that's how you do it. You switch over, so I can switch over to my level 11 Necromancer. Just like that. I'll equip it. I'll still have all of my gear score and all of my access, like I said, to everything. I'll just have to move stuff around. move my artifacts, move my equipment, get a new deck or new spells that work better with Necromancer or Necromancer, some people say, tomato, tomato, and eventually have all of them unlocked. Yeah, and that's how you do it. Okay. Good thing I found the tab. Okay, next. Tip number 4. We're going to the Sanctum. And the Sanctum has a number of things that you're going to want to do. Number 1 is the Consignment Broker. Now, those of you who are like, I don't want to deal with buying and selling and using an auction house, it's too complicated and I don't want to deal with it. Well, it's not that bad. As soon as you find it, which is over here, I'll explain to you the nuts and bolts. So the way the Consignment Broker works is you're not always going to have access to everything, and you're limited to how many transactions you can make based on the transaction coins that are given to you daily. What I like to do here is don't need to read how it works because it doesn't really explain anything, and I'll just explain the basics. So you want to go to your Sell tab. Personally, that's what I like to do. Now you can sell things over here. You have a Dimir spell unlock and you've already gotten all the things out of it. You can always hover over it. It'll tell you what you can sell on the very top. If you don't have anything available that can sell, then I like to go to the spell pages. Now spell pages, notice it's every spell. You can do a filter system over here by colors if it makes it easier for you. And what I do here is I try to find a spell that I either have tested and I don't have a build that I'm currently using, or maybe it's a spell that I don't particularly use or enjoy. If it's got a good cash out, which is the highest numbers are better, right? You want to see, and usually it's, of course, mythic creatures are going to have a higher number. But if you just have something that you just want, that you're not particularly fond of, and you're like, you know what, I don't like sleep. I don't think it works in PvE, and I don't feel like, because my teammates always unsleep my targets, and I like to group with teams. I don't like to play solo, so I can't really leverage sleep as well as I want to. Let's just pretend that's the spell you want to get rid of. Then you would click on sleep, and then well, clearly I don't have enough trade tokens. But if I selected this and I had pages in sleep, it would give me 190 gold per page. So I could sell hundreds of pages and get thousands of gold, and you could do that for everything. So if you say, hey, Wailing Souls is something that I don't like black spells at this point. I don't think I'm going to use them, but I've got a ton of them open. I'm going to sell Wailing Souls pages for 427 gold per 12 spell pages. And then you'll just notice that your trade tokens will be taken, and you'll be getting instantly tons of gold. It's a really good way to fill your gold up, because you'll notice these resources, these things that you're acquiring, they are essential to upgrade your realm, upgrade your spells, to upgrade your artifacts. All of these things and upgrades take gold, aether, planar mana, whatever else that you need to accomplish these upgrades. So gold will often be something you need to get. This is how you get it. Now, on the flip side, you can also buy stuff here in the same way. So let's say you want to level up your Dread Overseer, but you don't have enough spell pages. You can come here and spend gold to get spell pages, and hopefully that'll help you level up your spells. I didn't find myself doing too much of that. I usually got enough just from adventuring, but it is an option to buy spell pages if you have a spell that's just not getting drops like you'd like. And of course, world enchantments. These are when you get to master's level, you'll be using, there's multiple tiers of them. They just become more effective. You can read the description when you get into your world enchantments area. And this is pretty important. If you have them, you can sell them. Some of them just don't work well with the build that you might have. So sell those and try to get, you get gold out of it, and a pretty reasonable amount of gold too. So, all right, that is tip number 4, consignment, selling and buying. All right, the last of the tips, tip number 5, you want to level up your stuff. You might think, well, that's kind of obvious and I sort of already covered it, but when you have the ability and you can level up your spells, you're going to find a big difference in the power. I already mentioned that. And here is where you want to also upgrade your artifacts. Now, a lot of times the artifacts will have additional unlocks or additional abilities when they get to level 20 or level 10. There's usually staggered amounts of value. So by pumping these up, you will get, of course, your main ability, usually increments, and then also your secondary abilities, and sometimes, special abilities unlock when you get to 20. So get these unlocked as soon as you can. You'll notice everything has a different requirement, and it'll tell you what you need to acquire. So the upgrade costs will change as they go up higher and higher in level. Excuse me, higher and higher in level, their upgrades will change and the values will change. Importantly too, your loadout is your equipment. Equipment levels up a little bit differently because here you see a number. This is the number of that equipment you have. So Helm of the Warden has dropped for me 11 times, or I have 11 of them. So it says 11 upgrades are available. So if I wanted to upgrade Helm of the Warden, it would give me the ability to upgrade these, and if it unlocks any additional, I guess, secondary or third-dary abilities, these abilities will also give you ability to swap these out when you hit the upgrade button. So you'll just have to get multiple drops. So if there's something you really are enjoying and you're really liking it in your build, as you can see, you've got a lot of different quantities of these drops, some not as much, and you're going to want to use these. Of course, the ones that are rare are going to drop less often, and of course, the mythics drop even less than that. So you're just going to have to find the items you like, hit the upgrade button, and you can decide whether or not the upgrade is going to give you your build what you need. But the more you build these things up and level them up, then the more powerful they are, and that affects your loadout score, which is ultimately what you need to represent your overall power. It does a lot to your damage modifiers, etc. Now we have this one equipped. That's kind of nice. We have a new mod available. So this Talisman of Symbiosis, which is over here, tells me I have a new option, and let's see what those options are. I like Primary Potency and I like Spark Recharge. I don't think I'm going to use this option, but let's just see what it tells me. So these are some options I can choose from. I don't want to get blue mana resist, but if I wanted to, I could switch to that. So that's interesting. But I'm going to exit out of that. If I wanted to just upgrade it, I do not have the upgrade materials, so I cannot upgrade it. I can only change the abilities, but I like these abilities, so I'm going to keep it just as it is, even though I have the ability to add a new mod. And this one is also equipped. We'll see if I can upgrade this, and I can confirm this upgrade. I can go up, I just spend 1200, oh yeah, 1250 ether, one upgrade material, and I can increase the primary potency. So let's do it. And now it's 178. A little bit better. And that's how you do it. All right, that is it for my tips tutorial. Hopefully these 5 tips have helped improve your game. Hopefully you'll enjoy what you're doing. If you have any questions, or if you think of anything that I might have missed in the tips video, we can do another top 5 or 3 or 2 or whatever we come up with. So thank you so much for watching. Visit me on Twitch for live streaming Magic Legends and various other games that I can play, but I'm really into this right now. And hopefully, if you have any questions live, you can do that or post them down below. Please like, subscribe. Even if you dislike, you can dislike and subscribe as well. That's great. I want to hear your comments. I want to hear your what you have to say. Input is always appreciated. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.